Piper Aircraft is a manufacturer specializing primarily in general aviation aircraft, that is, those used for private flying, business flying, and flight training. The company was founded in 1927 as the Taylor Brothers Aircraft Manufacturing Company. It was distinguished in the late 20th century as being one of the top Big Three in its field of general aviation manufacturing. From its inception in 1927 until the end of 2009, Piper produced 144,000 individual aircraft of 160 different types, and around 90,000 of these are still flying. A vast number of pilots have learned to fly on Piper aircraft, and it would be almost impossible to find anyone involved in aviation who has not heard of the company. Well, meet one of the company's best-selling aircraft, the Piper PA-28 Dakota. Piper's Dakota, a follow-on model to the Cherokee 235, Pathfinder, and Charger, was intended as a head-to-head competitor with the Cessna Skylanes. It featured the same horsepower, roughly the exact interior dimensions, comparable performance in every parameter, and the benefits of a low wing. Piper knew that recently licensed pilots tended to buy the type of aircraft they learned in, high wing or low wing, and the Dakota was specifically designed to fill the need for a true family four-seater with the wing on the bottom. So in today's video, we will look at everything you need to know about the Piper PA-28 Dakota. Before we get on to that, please consider liking and subscribing to our channel. It helps us a lot with the YouTube algorithm and lets us know that we are helping to enrich lives out there. If you are into aviation, have a look at our new aviation compilation channel, Aviation Central. It is the first link in the description. We would highly appreciate it. So without further ado, let's begin the video. Introduced in 1979, the Piper PA-28-236, commonly known by its marketed name, the Piper Cherokee Dakota, is one of the many variants of the Piper Cherokee and a direct successor to the Piper Cherokee Pathfinder, which was produced from 1974 to 1977. The Dakota was essentially the same as the Pathfinder, with one significant change. It was given a tapered wing. Once the prototype was built and testing was complete, it received its Federal Aviation Administration certification on June 1, 1978, and debuted the following year. In 1979, the company reintroduced the airplane as a two-plane family, both called Dakotas. There was the Turbo Dakota, essentially a fixed-gear turbo aero, incorporating the semi-tapered Warrior wing and the turbocharged 200-up Continental Engine. The second was the evolutionary 235-up Cherokee updated to the new wing. Within a year, the market signaled its indifference to the Turbo Dakota by generating only 91 sales, and the Vero Beach-based company dropped that airplane but retained the original, carbureted 235-up powerplant. The last Piper Dakota rolled off the line in 1994, and over its 12-year production run, there weren't any significant changes made to the setup of the Dakota. There were minor changes made to the aircraft's paint, avionics, and interior to keep it updated, but that was the extent of it. Piper made the Dakota larger to compete against the more popular six-seater Cessna 182 Skylanes. It boasted the new semi-tapered wing planform first available on the Warrior in 1975, and by then, common across all PA-28 models. The Dakota was larger in critical dimensions, with another fuselage stretch of 7.5 inches and a span increase of 3.4 feet. Its original Hershey bar wings eventually gave way to a longer, semi-taper design. The landing gear has been folded, and many different power plants have been fitted. While much has changed, the design's basic utility, systems, handling, and reliability have remained. The PA-28 is one of the most popular aircraft models on the planet, second only to the C-172. The line has been in production for decades, and the design has been more or less the same throughout the years. So naturally, it has a massive aftermarket for modifications and replacement parts. There are a wide variety of parts available. Some of the first parts that are fitted are replacements for plastic interior and exterior parts that are better than the factory original pieces, followed by HID lighting, better shoulder harnesses, and smaller parts that don't require certification. The 235 Dakota has a huge advantage going for it when it comes to maintenance, reliability. The 0540 is significantly derated compared to some variants of the same engine, like the 350 HP versions of the Navajo. That means stresses are low, and service reports verify that the 235 HP version is nearly bulletproof. With the core engine still in production and tens of thousands in the field, support has not been a problem. With parts and services widely available, proper maintenance does not require a guru. Being a PA-28 also means that parts and services for the airframe are pretty easy to come by. As these things go, it's an easy airplane to live with. In later models, with more seat adjustments in both the front and rear and better attention to seat shape, the Dakota is better than the average light plane over long stage lengths. The larger fuselage of the Dakota translates to a more spacious cabin. The extra space has allowed Piper to install 4 fully adjustable seats known to be comfortable, making long journeys easy. These seats were also built with safety in mind. In the event of a crash, the specially designed seat frame deforms on impact, absorbing energy and protecting the passenger. Moreover, the center avionics stack is relatively short when compared to other manufacturers, so Piper generally relocated the autopilot above the pilot's left knee and left room for a short stack to the right. Some earlier panels may have sacrificed the glove box too, and recent attempts to install the latest and greatest avionics have run into issues regarding available depth behind the panel, especially at the top of the center stack. The 236 and later 235 have a row of rocker switches above the power quadrant. Circuit breakers are mounted low and on the right half of the panel. Earlier models used fuses and toggle switches, which often got spread across both halves of the panel. With many 235 sat or beyond 45 years in service, some panels may appear very dated, others may have been totally revamped. Unlike some airplanes, the early Cherokee 235s perform better than later models. This is due to the fact that many designs start out underpowered, not so the 235, which had plenty of ponies from the outset. Cruise speed, rate of climb, range, service ceiling, and poor altitude performance of the Charger or Pathfinder can be attributed to the same engine hauling around more airplanes. Even the official figures reflect this. Late model 235s with constant speed props have a service ceiling of 14,500 feet. The Charger's official top is a dismal 12,000 feet, and even getting to 10,000 feet in the summer is a trial. Though the Lycoming 0540 has been derated to 235 horsepower, you'll never find yourself wanting power in the Piper Dakota. Increasing the throttle produces a palpable response from the aircraft, even when fully loaded. Cruise performance on the Dakota is in line with what you'd expect of an aircraft of this nature. When 75% power is applied and the mixture is leaned out for fuel economy, the 6-cylinder engine burns 12.7 gallons per hour and powers the Dakota along at a speed of 257 kilometers per hour. Climb performance in the Dakota is markedly improved because of the longer wing. In its own way, the Dakota shows what aircraft development within a model line should be but rarely is: improved utility and performance. Piper Cherokees are top-rated aircraft in general, and the Dakota is the go-to model for anyone looking for a bigger Cherokee. Capable, comfortable, and easy to fly, prices for the Dakota have been increasing over the last few years. According to Aircraft Blue Book, a 1979 model year Piper Dakota is valued at $97,000. But that was in October of 2019. 2 years later, the average price of Dakota has been valued at $141,700, while the price range is between $89,900 to $199,900. Depending on whether you just carry liability coverage or full flight hull coverage, this cost will vary, but it typically runs between $160 to $1,400 per year, which adds about $2 to $5 per hour depending on the number of total hours flown in a year. The Piper Cherokee operating costs should include money set aside depending on the amount of hours flow for regular maintenance and inspections. Depending on the age and condition of the aircraft, these costs typically range between $15 to $30 per hour. Furthermore, most small airports don't have landing fees, but most of the larger and controlled tower airports do. Landing fees are typically a minimal amount of the hourly operating costs of Piper PA-28, and depending on the airport and amount of landings can range anywhere from $80 to $100 per year. Piper Cherokee's operating costs are relatively straightforward and significantly less than most other conventional aircraft. Piper PA-28 operating costs are typically broken down by hour and include fuel, insurance, tie-down or hangar storage fees, regular maintenance inspections, and landing fees. Typical Piper Cherokee operating costs average between $75 to $150 per hour, depending on a wide range of variables. So here you go. This is everything you had to know about the Piper PA-28 Dakota. And this brings us to the end of our video. Click the links to check out some of our other videos. Moreover, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. We have many great videos coming up. See you in the next video.